Coming up on Almost Adults.
Riley and I both made the choice to move to LA. Was it like 3 years ago? 3.5 years ago. Hey, remember like solo performance? I was like, yeah. And she's like, we should like do that. And I just went, yeah. And then we never did it.
And we didn't. Last show, we did a theme, which was love. So everyone kind of brought in pieces about what they felt about love, different types of love, different things that they felt.
I personally don't like saying I regret things.
Yeah, me either.
Because I think it does. It puts a negative spin on your life. And everybody wants to be positive. But at the same time, there are things that you are not happy about.
I don't know, the older you get, the less you are like willing to take risks and like be creative.
Oh, my friend Gage is gonna talk to you. Oh, and John Claude, he'll be there, oh, too. Even though they're not close together, they're far away. There, one's in Tampa, the other one's in LA. Oh, Gage, what's the show called again?
Fucking, it's Almost Adults. Shit.
Almost adult. Shit.
Hang on to go and get back on that record.
What?
There you go, that's my
I
singing.
got Ed Sheeran stuck in my head, so like...
I'm thinking out loud, maybe we can figure it out. I was doing some Ed Sheeran.
Was that really Ed Sheeran?
Yeah,
No, but-
I'm thinking out loud. Yeah.
Is that... Oh. Don't do that ever again.
Hello, I'm Ed Sheeran, I'm gonna talk about my redhead.
Do you know what Ed Sheeran sounds like? He's
Yeah, that's exactly how Ed Sheeran sounds. I'm thinking out loud,
No.
maybe we can figure it out. Wow, if only the general audience out there could see my good friend Liz with her head in her hands.
I'm literally embarrassed. I'm not only sweating because I'm in a hot room, but I'm sweating because I'm embarrassed for Gage.
That's all right. That's all right. Okay, so welcome to the Almost Adults podcast, and live from Los Angeles in my closet, we're going to have Liz Kummer
Hi.
sing some Ed Sheeran for us.
No, it's okay.
Oh, okay. I see how it is. Because earlier she was judging me about singing Ed Sheeran. And she's like, that sounds like Ed Sheeran.
That's
And
exactly what Liz sounds
That's exactly what
and
she
that's
sounded
what
like too,
Liz
Gage.
sound
Your
like.
impersonations are impeccable. Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, they're pretty dead on when you say Jean-Claude.
Yeah, I would.
Can you tell between the last podcast and this podcast that I've had 8 weeks of UCB training?
Oh my goodness.
Ah!
Yes.
Anyways, welcome back to Almost Adults. My name is Gage.
And my name is Jean-Claude. If you guys have forgotten, since we've been on not a hiatus, it's just, it's been a week or so.
It's been like 8 weeks, dude.
No way.
Since we last recorded. Yes. I told you, I'm putting this in perspective. The last time we recorded, I was going to my first improv class, and now I've done my final show. So
Yeah.
it's been at least 9 weeks.
That's wild.
Time flies when you're having
Anyways,
fun.
we got some guests for the podcast. Guest number 1 we have right here.
Hi, I'm Liz Kummer.
Her name is Liz Kummer. Liz Kummer, what do you do?
I'm an actor, like everyone in LA, and a musician for fun. But yeah, I've been pursuing acting and been working on this amazing show called It's Personal with my lovely co-creator over here, Riley Billlingsley.
Hi, I'm Riley Billingsley. Yeah, I'm also an actor, and I am the other co-producer of It's Personal.
Yas queen.
You know, I really did not want you to do it on my podcast.
I
did
always-
not
why?
want you to do this.
You should not have anything against Yas queen. Yas queen is the best catchphrase.
Can we talk a little bit about Yas Queen?
Sure, if you'd like to. It was born on Broad
City.
Broad City, and then also because of Lady Gaga.
Well,
that one video.
No, it was originated by drag queens.
Right, yes. But then it
And
became,
then-
when Lady Gaga came out, the guy was like, yes, queen,
Yeah.
yes, Lady Gaga.
I think that should have been reserved for Beyonce.
I think Lady Gaga deserves a yes, queen.
I mean, I think people can kind of say whatever they want,
Yeah. I mean, it's freedom of speech.
Jean-Claude, who would you Yas Queen?
What?
You had 3 Yas queens in your life, and you could only Yas 3 people.
3 queens.
Yeah, if 3 queens walked into your life, who would they be?
Let me clarify the question. So you're asking me which 3 queens would I look at and say yas to?
Yas queen.
You would have to say Yas queen.
Because I've never heard that term before this moment.
Really?
Yeah, I've never heard of yas queen.
Oh my goodness, it's in my daily
I
vocabulary.
always thought yas was like a birth control thing.
I think it is.
I think it is.
Well, Yaz is spelled with a Z. That's the birth control. Yaz is spelled with an S.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
we're learning new things
I mean, I've
every
heard
day.
people in like Snapchat and things like that going like yas.
Have you seen that video of the cat doing that?
No.
You have to watch it after this.
Apparently
It's-
cats do it too.
Well, it's like posed in, but it's so funny.
I do think
my
I've
God,
seen a
I
cat
know.
video with it doing yes.
Oh yeah, it's hilarious.
So
I watch it.
Hold
when I'm
on,
sad.
let's recap. Yas Queen is reserved for Beyonce, Lady Gaga, and cats.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say? Okay.
That would probably be my order.
Whenever I see RuPaul, I always say Yaz queen.
Well, that's 4. That's too many. You gotta take out either.
Well, then I take out the cat.
No, you gotta take out Lady Gaga in that case.
No. Tell me what to do.
Sorry, I'm mansplaining a little too hard over
Oh,
here.
I would say so.
You did the Salt Bay meme right there. You did.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The
Okay.
salt bay.
The Salt Bay meme is when
It's-
the guy with the mustache.
Oh
and the-
yeah, it's the Juandísimo
and the-
Magnifico guy that's like throws salt down his arm.
Like this, yeah. I'm sorry, John Claude, you were saying something, and then I got on a Salt Bay rant.
Sure. Should we kind of say the episode name of the podcast, introduce the welcome people back to Almost Adults, what this is?
Oh, yeah, sure. I thought we already did that.
We introduced ourselves. We just said welcome, but welcome to Almost Adults, everyone.
Yeah! Yeah, we have fun on this show. Today we have the It's Personal co-creators, Liz Kummer and Ryan Billingsley.
Riley.
I did say Riley.
Oh, it sounded like you said Ryan.
Why would I
I
ever
don't know.
confuse your
I don't
name to be
know.
Ryan?
I don't know. It sounded like that. I'm sorry.
He has a speech impediment, okay? All right.
Guys, this is the new and improved Almost Adults where I'm improv trained.
He's improv trained, but he lost his ability to speak. Jeez, it's a
have it all.
little mermaid scenario.
You really can't.
Yeah. Who would be Ursula in this case?
The UCB.
Oh yeah, UCB is an anagram for Ursula.
So what I was saying was, I recently found out that one of my relatively close friends from high school that I did a lot of theater acting with, I hadn't seen any of his posts on Facebook, and he kind of dropped out of just social media that I heard of. And I recently found out that the reason that I hadn't been hearing about him is because he's like completely shifted his persona. His entire social body is now through his persona as a drag queen.
Cool.
Called Ophelia Up.
That's her name?
That's
That's her
amazing.
name, that's her name.
That's such a great
That's such a
effing
good name.
How has no one claimed that yet?
I don't know.
Damn
Well, he
it.
has now.
Oh,
I love that.
damn.
So go
I'm gonna
check
have
him
to
out. Go
her
check him out. Ophelia Up.
Tag her Instagram.
That's who she is. It's
Amazing.
no longer the guy
All
I knew in
about it.
high school. He's converted all of his being into that. Or she. I don't know how to describe it. What exactly
Stop being
happened.
a sexist pig, John.
I don't think I'm a
Claude.
sexist.
God damn
I
it.
don't think I have the vocabulary to explain what the transition was.
Well, I think if you're referring to the drag queen, you say she.
She. Whenever
Yeah.
you're talking about the drag queen herself, you say
that's
her. Yeah.
persona now.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that I understand, and that I should, refer to her as a her. But what I guess I'm losing words out on is the wording to how to describe and explain the transition from one persona into another.
I think you did it well.
Yeah, you did it perfectly well. You said he before the transformation, and then you're like, she was a drag queen. I was just giving you shit because I'm a horrible person.
No, I gave you shit, man. Quid pro quo. So that was an interesting thing that happened in my life.
That is the big thing that happened to John Claude in our 8-week absence.
Oh no, many other things happened in this past 8 weeks.
Yeah, you got some interviews for medical school?
I did. I flew out to Missouri.
Yeah, your cousin came over?
My cousin came from Chile, and we hung out for a week.
Yeah.
I did a lot of improv, and I'm continuing to do a lot of improv.
Yeah, if you're ever in this area, we have to do improv together. I like the improv jam at UCB.
Yeah, or produce our own little show or something, and then that ties into live shows.
What? Live shows? What do you guys know about live
What a
shows?
segue.
Transition.
What do we know about live shows, Riley?
So when have you been performing live in front of an audience? How long has that been?
Riley makes a face of like, too long.
Well, for me, it's been since I was in 5th grade.
Me too.
Really?
Shut up.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, it was 5th grade.
Yeah, I was in like my church musicals.
Yes. I was in Oliver, and I was
Nice.
an extra orphan.
Nice. So a very long time. I'm 26
Wow.
now.
Yeah,
so
me too. I'm
a
26
long
now
time,
as well.
yeah.
It's been
So
a while.
you started relatively at the same time.
Yeah.
And you transitioned from musical to, how's it called? Like theater monologues? When was that?
Oh, like, do you mean to It's Personal? To like solo performance? Or
Yeah, just solo performance in general.
Well, we were in a class like our junior year of college.
Yeah, acting and performing.
Acting and performing at Columbia College in Chicago. And so it's basically just a bunch of different styles of theater throughout the course. And one of them was solo performance, which is basically you write your own piece and perform it on stage by yourself. It's your own words. Perform it on stage with like a little activity to make it interesting. So that we did that. We performed it at Stage 773 in Chicago.
Oh, I miss it.
And then we...
Which is a great theater, by the way. They have one of the biggest sketch fests,
Yeah.
like in the country or something. I think is it?
Really?
I think so.
Yeah, they have, and they have the...
It's ridiculous the amount of shows they have. I highly recommend looking it up.
It's on
It's Belmont.
It's on Belmont.
It's on Belmont, yeah. And the owner of the stage, I always shout him out because he was our teacher and he owns Stage 773. Ryan Posen owns the theater. So check him out. He also has a great show called Cupid with a Heart On. Get it? It's
Oh
been
my
running for like
God.
20
Brian
years.
Posen, is he the guy with the beard?
Yes.
Yeah, I know him. I love that comedian.
How do you know Brian?
I've heard him on Pandora, honestly.
Pandora.
Yeah,
Wait, I think you're talking about somebody else.
Yeah, he's not a comedian.
He's not like, he doesn't do like stand up. Like he's a teacher and he runs Second City in Chicago for something, well, few classes.
No, I swear we're thinking of the same guy.
Well, there
Maybe.
could be a common name.
Yeah.
Wait,
But-
is he like bald, has glasses?
No,
No.
he has curly hair.
Oh, well, never mind.
We tried. We tried.
We tried.
So,
Oh,
yeah,
beards
he-
apparently aren't a good link.
No, people can shave them.
Oh, yeah, there is an actor. I know who you're talking about, Gage. Brian Posen. If you guys watch
wow.
New Girl, do you guys watch New Girl?
I do.
I used to.
Well, I
Okay,
used
so
to.
he's the biology teacher that kind of has that low
Not ringing a
voice.
bell. Failing.
Sorry.
Not ringing a bell?
I
Really?
believe you, though.
I'm sure if I saw him, I'd be like, oh, Brian Posen.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then Stage 773, we had the opportunity in class. He was like, do you guys want to perform your pieces at this stage in Chicago? And we were like, yes. And so we did it. And it was such a good experience because, you know, you're very comfortable in your class with your group of friends performing out in front of them. And he said, no, we're going to invite people. And, you know, we had a live audience. I just remember feeling very free. It's very cathartic.
Yeah, we all talked about very personal things.
Yes.
So it was scary to perform in front of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was very free.
And, you know, we were very connected to it. And then Riley and I both made the choice to move to LA. Was it like 3 years ago? 3.5 years ago?
Yeah, like
Woof.
3.5 years ago.
And we were roommates our first year. I really do remember this conversation. Riley was just like, hey, remember like solo performance? I was like, yeah. And she's like, we should like do that. And I just went, yeah. And then we never did it.
And we didn't.
And it just
God.
sat there
Like
for
2.5
3
years.
years. Yeah,
3
2.5
years, yeah.
2.5 years, 3 years. It sat there until she approached me 6 months ago, probably, and we teamed up and we
Really?
started
It's
doing
only
it.
been going 6
Well,
months?
yeah, I guess it was like probably at the end of the summer when I...
October.
Oh,
no, maybe.
maybe.
Oh, no,
I don't know.
maybe it was. When was our show? Our first show was November 29th, right?
Yeah, so it was sometime like late summer, early
Yeah.
like September or something, I think, when I
It was
just came
September.
over. Yeah, and I was like, hey, do you want to do a solo performance this time?
Yeah.
Like, for real. And then I was like, I kind of want to call it It's Personal. Like, what do you think? And then she was like, yeah, let's do it. So we made just like a Facebook event. Like,
Yeah.
hey, does anyone want to come over and like write pieces and like do it? And then,
Got like 5 amazing people.
yeah, and then we ended up actually performing it on stage, which was kind of a surprise to both of us. And now we are going to be
third.
doing our 3rd show.
in less than a month.
Yeah. You guys are doing like 5 shows
In a year?
in a year.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So tell me a little bit more about like the format of it. So roughly how long is the entire performance?
The entire performance is about an hour. Each person's piece varies from like
3 to 5 minutes.
3 to 5 minutes, I
usually.
would say. And basically, it's just our last show, we did a theme, which was love. So everyone kind of brought in pieces about what they felt about love, different types of love, different things that they felt. And some
like
of us did-
monologues.
Yeah,
based, is
basically
the
they're
best way to put it.
monologues. Yeah, they're basically, you're just on stage kind of speaking about how you feel about
That topic.
this thing. Yeah.
So recently there was a workshop that was put on at the place that I do improv, and it was essentially a storytelling workshop. And what it boiled down to, in essence, when they put on the final show, was these people getting together and writing these pieces. It wasn't all tied together by a centralized theme, but it ended up being these kind of heartfelt pieces of these individuals pouring themselves out to an audience.
All
And-
about it. Love it.
Yeah, so it was really, really cool.
You also just automatically feel very connected to the people on stage, being in the audience.
Oh, yeah.
You just can relate on every level. I mean, you came to the show.
Yeah, I came to the second show
Yeah.
about love. And even before you started the show, I was really intrigued about the idea, and I wanted to do one myself.
And so Gage is in our next show.
Yes!
And our next show is Regrets, which is
Dun, dun,
super
dun.
fascinating.
Oh,
All the different
wow.
things people have.
People, it's so funny too when I tell people the theme is regrets. I feel like people are like, oh. And I'm like, no.
Nothing's like
I was gonna
super
say,
sad.
everyone has like lighthearted regrets.
I mean, there are some
They
things that
have
are definitely
depth.
more moving.
There are
but
some
nothing-
dark themes to it, I would say.
I think people
Overall.
brought very interesting, beautiful pieces. Some are funny, some are poems, some are how
Yes.
people don't have regrets and how they don't like using the word regret. I just think it's very fascinating. Everyone has a different view, but then we all relate to each other. It's just such kind of a beautiful thing, and I love it.
Let's talk about that. That's interesting. See, I have a very hard time wrapping my mind around the concept. Like, I think it's beautiful, and I think it's such an idealistic point of view to say, you know, I don't believe in regrets, and I don't have regrets. I can't do that.
I had trouble actually writing my piece. I had one, I don't want to give it away, but I had one idea. It was more of like a funny, I put my roommate in an awkward situation kind of thing.
a funny
it was like
anecdote.
yes, exactly. It was
Yeah.
a funny little regret. But I don't like saying, I didn't do a piece on this, but somebody else did it, or Cass. I personally don't like saying I regret things.
Yeah, me either.
Because I think it does. It puts a negative spin on your life, and everybody wants to be positive. But at the same time, there are things that you are not happy about or happy with.
And I think also my piece that I am gonna do is kind of about like how I'm just not sure either way, if it's like a regret or not
Yeah,
a regret.
yeah.
And I think that that's kind of
And you never say the word in your
point.
piece.
I never say the word regret, but it's like
People can
I don't.
find
It's
it
like I
from
don't
it.
want to say the word regret, but also maybe I do regret. Like it's
Right.
one of those things where it's like I don't really know. I just
Yeah.
want to like talk about it because
Yeah.
I don't really know.
And I think that's what's cool is that people can talk. I mean, think about it. Our love show. People are doing, pieces about relationships. Well, I did a piece about my love for cheese. That's a cool thing about like regrets is everyone's gonna have a completely different perspective on what the word regret means to them. Which I think is cool.
And I think on our audience, our last show, and even our show before that, like a lot of people cried. Almost everyone laughed at
Yeah.
certain points. Like that's, I think, the beauty of the whole show is that even within people's pieces, when we're in rehearsals, I can cry and laugh and like be totally in shock at one person's piece. So you have all these elements of human connection in like a one show.
Oh, totally.
And you
Yeah.
feel all these different emotions. And I think that's kind of just, indicative of life. So
I think what's cool about your show and what really kind of draws people in and what allows them to connect with the speaker is when someone is kind of divulging information about themselves and kind of revealing these personal details about themselves. Last Tuesday, the Tuesday of last week, I went to an open mic stand-up comedy thing. I was listening to these stand-up comics that, for the most part, the comedians that went up there, there's like the one type. It's the mid-20s, white male, kind of down on his luck for the most part, or that kind of thing. And they usually, their format is they talk about like really nasty stuff, really like homophobic stuff, just like really just attacking material. And I kept wondering, I was like, why isn't this funny? And like I knew deep down like why I wasn't laughing at it, but I was trying to like analyze it objectively, and I was like, why isn't this good stand-up comedy? And kind of the conclusion that I came to was just like these guys, it's not about themselves. It doesn't come their works, their speaking doesn't come from a point of understanding or personal
relation.
personal relation. It comes from a point of attack. and like they're always poking fun at someone else. And I guess, I don't know, I think the best comedy and best stories and that kind of thing comes from your own story, your own things. I don't know.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I also don't think that's really the platform for someone to, if someone has that sort of bit and sort of piece, they have obviously a couple of issues, or they just have some preconceptions about homophobia, or I don't know, maybe the opposite gender. It's just not the place to do it. And with It's Personal show, it's I'm not saying that's the place for it. I'm just saying it's a more sort of expressive place, and it puts feelings sort of on the stage, which is sort of a beautiful thing.
Yeah, what I love about the show and what I love about stuff like this is like getting to the root of it, getting to your actual feelings and getting to your actual like what's deep down, and kind of like bringing that forward, because we just don't talk about that in normal life. Everyone is behind a screen all the time, and people can say such nasty things behind a screen. There's so few like interactions that people really have that are genuine now, or like Tinder or whatever, where people like date. Like there's just not enough of like really getting into like how people really feel about things, and that's kind of what we always want to be able to like go deeper into, like what's really going on. And that's why I think people really respond to the show, because they're feeling it as we're talking about it on stage. Our last show, we actually had someone who ended up breaking up with her boyfriend because she saw one of the pieces and decided that
she had a realization. She had a realization that she was in a bad relationship because the one person on stage was talking about how they went through all these bad relationships to find the one they're in now that is the one they want. And then listening to the way the gentleman was talking about his girlfriend, she was like,
also,
oh my God, I don't treat this way.
It was Liz's boyfriend talking about Liz, which is so adorable.
I didn't know if you wanted me to say that or not.
No, it's totally fine. Yeah, Bob wrote a very nice piece about me, and he just talked about all the previous relationships that he had and how like you find who you are and how it's a struggle, and you think, oh, this person's the one, and then they're not, and then you think this person's the one, and then they're not. And this woman, she just had this realization, like, I am not in a good relationship. It just kind of helped push her in the right direction, which I think is super cool. We can have that impact.
I mean, we don't want people to break up with people, but we want people to like be moved, and that is like more than we could hope for, is that people really feel moved and feel different after the show. And
the fact that she told us too, she goes, I just want to let you know this was a great help. And I think that's amazing that art can save people or create conversations. Can I talk about your piece? Is that fine? Mm-hmm. So Riley did a piece about her grandmother passing, and she didn't actually bring up like her passing away, but she talked about the life lessons.
The things that my grandma taught me.
And so it was like super cute because she was making cookies on stage while talking about how amazing her grandma was. And I swear to God, I probably had at least 5 to 10 people per show come up to me and be like, that grandma piece. Oh my God.
Because everyone can relate to
everyone
that.
has a grandparent, and a lot of people deal with loss and death. And it wasn't like you were talking about death, but this like emotional connection of being a child and looking up to your grandmother. Everyone related to it. It was insane.
Oh yeah, I was just saying, it doesn't really have to be a grandparent. Just the concept of looking up to someone, and like a teacher or a parent.
Totally. And it meant so much to me that I was able to talk about that. You know, she means a lot to me, and it meant a lot to me to be able to share that with everybody. And it's cool that people also respond to that, because it's like we're talking about stuff we really want to be talking about.
Right.
And it's awesome that people like are interested in it.
Yeah, that's really like relieving to know that there is still an audience for that kind of material, because like you guys said earlier, in terms of like the technology and the information age, that everyone's behind a screen, and the generation after us is even more so. They're glued to that kind of thing. So there's such a disconnect from the interpersonal relationships that we all have.
Yeah,
definitely.
For sure.
And knowing that people still seek that out, that's good. That's good to know.
Yeah, it gives me hope a little bit.
It does. I mean, let's be honest, we won't get into it, but I think like we're going through a little bit of tough time, and I think this is the time. I keep quoting this Patton Oswalt article that Riley posted on our page. He wrote like this whole thing
on
about
Inauguration Day. He said,
this is the time to support local artists. This is the time that we need art and we need each other. And I think this show, like, there's funny, there's sad, there's thoughtful pieces. I think it just makes you feel very connected as an audience member and as a person on stage. It's cool.
Awesome. Yeah.
That's the end of that statement.
The It's Personal show will be showing April 7th, 7:30 p.m.
Yep.
Yes.
And also April 8th, 7:30 p.m. And 9:30 p.m.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can get tickets on itspersonalonstage.com.
Yes, plug in.
Please buy tickets. It's going to be in Hollywood at the Complex Theaters.
Yeah. They're
Yeah.
only $8. And we're going to be donating to a charity.
Yes.
We always donate to
Yeah,
And there
you
will be
guys-
free beer and wine.
Yes, from 101 Cider.
Yeah.
Alcohol,
Like
altruism,
literally everything
and
you want.
Yeah, so
what
we're
a
going to have
deal.
like some booze and it's suggested donation and
And Gage Agnew, and freaking Gage Agnew will be
Yes.
there.
You do not
yeah.
want to miss
Yeah.
it.
I'm there.
Yeah, last show, our love show, we decided to do Planned Parenthood as our charity, and we raised $243 from donations, which is amazing.
That is awesome.
So we feel really happy that we get to also give back to our community.
Yeah.
Man, I don't want to misquote the charity, but the charity I'm sort of vying for, I believe it's called Child's Play, which is like video games for children.
video games for
Yeah,
children.
video games for children.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Video games for children? Who
Wait,
would think of such a thing?
What does that mean?
Elaborate on
That's so
does that mean?
outlandish.
Sure, yeah. A lot of kids who are sick or in the hospital really
Oh, I
don't have a
see.
lot of forms of entertainment, so we provide them video games.
Oh, that's cool.
Interesting.
So we're talking about a couple of different charities, but that's one I would like to put in the ring because video games
cool.
shaped me as the man I am today. So I think that would be an awesome charity. Jean-Claude, do you have a suggestion for a charity?
I think the Planned Parenthood is always a good one.
Yeah, I was kind of putting you back on the...
It's okay.
Yeah.
I
Putting
think
you on the
Planned
spot
Parenthood is
there.
going
Planned
through a lot
Parenthood
of.
is a great one. We do
difficulty.
not want to do Planned Parenthood for regrets.
Oh gosh, yeah, that
Not
would.
that any of our charities are going to reflect regret, but
We were
we
looking at-
love to associate that with love, but
Yeah.
regret is not what we want to associate that with.
Do like a college charity or something like that, so you don't have
Oh my
regret taking
God,
out money
that's
for college or
hilarious.
something.
Yeah, right.
No more college
Yeah, we'll
loans.
probably do something that maybe is affected by the administration. That might be a nice regret one.
We were looking at Churla.
Churla, which is similar to the ACLU but based in Los Angeles, really helping people with immigration that are going through immigration and
Yeah.
all the steps they need to know in this political climate. I mean, whatever we choose, obviously
all gonna be
it'll be
great,
great
yeah.
and it's not reflective of regret at all. I just don't want to I don't want people to associate any particular
Yeah.
thing.
I
with
didn't even
regret.
think of that, Riley, until you said it. I was
I
like,
know.
wow.
It's bad.
Also, what I like about the charity thing was it was just a suggestion. It wasn't advertised at all. It was just like, hey, if you want to help, we're bringing everyone together. And I thought that was a really...
Everyone donated.
Everyone donated. It was
Yeah.
insane. I was not expecting
Yeah, it was really nice. It was really awesome. And I think people are excited to be able to donate something they want to do. And so to just give people an opportunity to do that is a no-brainer, really.
Going back to sort of it's personal, where's the line of it's too personal when it comes to sort of your shows?
It's so funny because Riley and I were talking about this.
The thing is that there is no line.
There
for
is
me.
no line.
I mean,
Oh,
this
no.
is why Liz and I started this. We're oversharers. I mean, sometimes that comes with being an actor, and
Yeah.
that's just who we
You
are
just
as
want everyone
people.
to know everything.
I am a chronic oversharer. I have talked about every single one of my relationships on stage
Oh,
at this point.
yeah.
It's just a little bit ridiculous.
But it's amazing. I mean, honestly, we were talking about the only time that we would be hesitant is if mom and dad were in the audience.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that for me, it's there's no limit for me of what's too personal, but I do think about my family and what is maybe too personal for them. That's the only time I ever think.
Trying to keep it classy.
Yeah,
for them, for
I
parents.
I'm super open to sharing lots of things, but sometimes what stops me on social media and stuff is my family, and
Oh, totally, me too.
not that I'm worried about what they may think about me, but just
You're a representation
yeah,
of
just
them.
just being aware of them being on there. My parents did come to the last show, and some stuff I was saying, I was like, I wonder what they're gonna think.
How did they react?
They loved it. Well, the thing I wrote about my grandma, I actually said that at her funeral. So it was the speech I gave at her funeral, just changed a little bit. So it was really similar to what they've already heard. And then the one I also talked about how I've moved a lot. My dad felt really guilty.
Oh no, he felt guilty after the
He
show.
always feels
Oh,
guilty
no.
about everything, but he was like, I feel bad that I moved her so much. It's all my fault.
Oh.
I was like, it is not your
I
fault.
was gonna say you turned out to an okay person.
Yeah,
I think.
I was able to write about it. It's totally fine. But yeah, I mean, our first show, I got real into some guys that I've dated, and I was not about to let any of my family come to that.
Yeah, I'm having a reflection now on all my pieces that I have done or written, and I put comedy in them a lot. I guess I didn't realize. I feel like I like to talk about things that like make me laugh really hard because I talk about how I didn't know how to read until late into my life.
I didn't hear this story.
That was my first one.
Can you read now?
I can read now. Good news. No, I struggled a lot in school. I was just not good at reading, and finding vocabulary was rough, and it wasn't until audiobooks. There was a series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket. There was an audiobook, and Tim Curry did the voice work for it.
Oh, that's
and
great.
That got me into reading. And so I wrote a letter to Tim Curry saying, thank you, basically, for teaching me how to read, which was a little bit comical, and I was also balancing the series of Unfortunate Events book set on my head while doing the piece.
What?
It was ridiculous, but it was, I feel like my pieces are very lighthearted.
I think that's great, and we definitely need a lot of that, and I love when people kind of get down to it, like get down to that really personal stuff, and I think that's really where we thrive. And not to say that your stuff, the funny stuff is also very, you know, it's like we're talking about stuff that we wouldn't normally say. And I mean, I have questioned sometimes when I'm about to go on stage, like, oh no, people are gonna judge me, like, should I be saying this?
One. I'm super nervous
like,
for my one.
But honestly, after you do it on stage once, it's released. It's out in the world, and it's out of your control, and people hear it, and they always respond to it in a good way. And so it's that first initial, like, oh my god, I'm about to, like, really share some personal shit on stage.
And no one judges you. You think they are, and then they're not, which is really cool.
It's great because you feel this release of, like, being able to share, and I think that we probably both have just done it enough now that we're like, what else can I say?
Yes.
And it's like, I want to, like, really push myself to, like, be as personal as possible.
This one's my most personal one that I'm doing.
Yeah.
This is the one I'm most scared for.
At some point, it's just going to be really ridiculous.
We were talking about doing an after midnight XXX show.
XXX. Too personal, too furious is what I like to call it.
Too personal, too
Nice.
furious. Real quick, because my mom wants to know, are you going to be recording this?
Our shows?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, we have a little thing about that. Basically, because it is personal, that's the name of the show. We don't like to record anything because we really like to make all of our performers feel very comfortable with the material, that they're kind of in control of it. So we're more than happy to, if one of the performers would like to have something taped, like at a dress rehearsal or something, for, say, their parents, we can do that. We just don't want to record the whole show. We don't want to
post on social media.
Yeah, we don't want to, like, just give
too much. Out of context, too. Out of context, if someone's just watching, like, my piece that I'm doing for this show, I'm sure people would judge me because they want to understand the type of show it is or what the context
we just want it to be a safe space.
Yeah, it's a safe space, and people can talk about it outside of seeing the show. That's fine. Like, we all talk about each other's pieces. But I think there's, like, this kind of intimacy, and it's kind of like everyone's little secret. Like, oh, I know Riley's piece. Ooh.
Yeah, like, you know, kind of like, it's like, you come to the show, you know my thing. Yeah. Like, you know my thing. You know how I feel about this.
And people learn things about you.
And it's nice because then those people, I'm like, wow, I just, like, revealed something to them. And obviously, as we both said, we're both oversharers. Like, it's not that we're uncomfortable with it, and I'm sure all of our performers, like, a lot of them feel similar, but we just want to preserve that really safe space and make everyone feel extremely comfortable, and we're really careful about that.
We want people to see it live and not on social medias.
We are going to have a little video, a little teaser trailer that we have coming out with little snippets so that people kind of get an idea of It's Personal. That should be coming out on our website probably in the next week.
Can you say what that teaser trailer is for?
It's for our Kickstarter.
Support their Kickstarter.
Yes. We'll put all the info on itspersonalonstage.com.
We're raising money for the Hollywood Fringe Festival.
Yeah, so we're going to be in the Fringe Festival. So yeah, but we just want to keep it kind of intimate. And
we want to keep it personal.
Like, literally, we overuse that word so much, but that's why it's called that. It's personal,
I'm excited for the show.
Me too.
Once again, that's April 7th. 7:30. I'm hawing because it's really hot in here. I want to get, like, a big AC thing and just blast it with AC and then make it really cold, and then when we're in here, it gets really hot. Like the sound stages where I work.
Oh my god.
That's how I met Liz.
Warner Bros.
Yeah. We were,
theater. I was working in the theater lobby, and
you probably remember this a lot better than me.
It was me, Gage, and Sydney, and sometimes Justine.
And Alex.
The
dream team.
He's also in the show. And yeah, we would scan people's tickets at Warner Brothers, and that's how I got to know Gage. Yeah. Yeah. And Gage just approached us after the show and was just like, yeah.
Might I clarify? Very important detail.
It was before the show.
It was before
I didn't
the
even
show.
know what I was getting into.
That is true.
We're standing at the front. He was like, I want to be in the show. And I was like, have you seen it? He was like, no. I was like, why don't you watch it first?
Sign me up.
Yes,
And
of
then
course.
decide.
We would love you to be in the show, but like just
You make me sound
Just
so
watch it.
demanding. I want to be in the show.
And speaking of people being in the show, we tell people if this is something like that you want to do or you want to try it, like email us. We
it's
do rotating
personal
casts.
onstage@gmail.com.
Yes.
Please let us know if this sounds up your alley. We would love that.
We do rotating casts
Yeah.
every show.
It's always in LA, so
Yeah.
you gotta be in LA.
Gotta be in LA. Sorry, John
and-
Claude.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. We can do a voice recording and then play it through the speakers and have Gage up there with a Jean-Claude puppet. just
There we go.
mouthing
We
along.
know a
That's
puppeteer.
experimental theater.
Oh, that's right. Rachel Burson.
We got Rachel, the puppeteer. We could totally do that.
Fantastic.
Puppet piece is the next piece. Watch out, April 2019.
So there was actually, considering we were talking about the regrets in doing it, and I don't get a chance to do a piece on there, just to share a little thought that I've been having recently that's kind of personal
excited.
and regret-ish.
Sure.
Tell me.
I don't know. I'm at a point right now where I'm starting to realize that when I was in middle school and also in high school, any project that I was given or any kind of challenge that was set up for me, like I was really excited to tackle it, but like go above and beyond. And it was fun to do that. Like if I had a project, I would think of like, what's the creative solution for this? Like what's outside the box and do the weird solution and always present those. And like kind of sitting around being an angsty 20-something-year-old, I was thinking about it. I was like, I don't know whether or not it was the science track in college or if you guys felt this way after coming out of college or something like that, or maybe high school too, that you lose that motivation to do the weird outside the box thing and you're just like, okay, just go with the status quo. I don't know.
I was listening to an interview about that.
Really?
It was one of, like, the Newgrounds people. It was either Adam Phillips or Ross O'Donovan who was talking about if they wanted a 5-paragraph essay, they just did that and they kept turning it in to eventually get where they were now in order to do what they really wanted to do. For you, I think it would have been the other way around. I think you would be the angsty teenager trying to get it done, and then as the 20-something trying to be creative about it, trying to switch it up.
You would think that was the case, but I'm realizing that, especially when it comes to medical school and applying for jobs in that respect, there have been so many cases where I would have sent out my resume, and my resume, considering I'm a pretty non-traditional person and all my extracurriculars and activities that I like to do are pretty different from the normal applying medical student or medical assistant or that kind of thing. I try and make myself stand apart, but that's not what they want. And I find that so
No.
disheartening.
God, and that's the complete opposite of like what I have to do as an actor.
Yeah,
Like,
as an
what's your
artist.
funny, quirky thing? What's unique about you? It's just the complete opposite of like you don't want to be cookie cutter.
It's like the opposite of The Incredibles. You're trying to be special, but when everyone's special, no one is.
Yeah,
Ba-da-ba.
so true.
I was just talking about The Incredibles a lot today, sorry.
No, you're fine.
It's a good movie.
But
It's a
yeah,
good
no, I
movie.
think it's like this thing where I don't know, the older you get, the less you are like willing to take risks and like be creative, and
I'm reading about that. Sorry, continue in a minute.
I don't have anything else.
I'm reading a book called You Are a Badass.
Wait, I need to read
Oh
this
my
book.
god,
My
you
mom,
need to read
yeah,
this
my
book.
mom gave it to
Okay,
me.
it's like one of those like motivational help kind of books, but there was a section about taking risks and this idea that when you're a kid, you can do whatever the F you want, right? You can just go for it.
By the way, we don't curse on this podcast.
yeah, that's
so
why I
you gotta
censored
say,
myself.
You gotta say whatever the fuck we want to do.
Great,
Okay.
whatever
I
the
mean,
fuck
that's
you
what
want.
I said when I was a kid. So
Yeah, always. But then she talks about when you go into adulthood, you make the choice to be safe because now money's involved, your life is involved, your health is involved. And just this idea of how you say, oh, I should have never done that when I was a kid. But you should have because it made you have a very conscious, well-rounded personality trait. Like you learned from that risk that you took. And that we should always try to go back to being that kid in the playground kind of thing and exploring the world for the first time and taking those risks. It was just really interesting. I recommend reading it.
Yeah, I know. I realized that the scary thing and the thing that just disappoints me and bums me out is the fact that like I feel like I've lost the motivation, even just the energy to go above and beyond. Like I think like, oh, I could do this. Like, nah.
Yeah.
And it's like, when did I become like that?
Write a piece about it. Put it in our show.
and I think that's the world we're surrounded in too. Like I think it's like, and how you were saying like you're applying for medical school and stuff, it's like being set apart is like not what they're looking for. It's like people are just I don't know. It's like
just so go,
it's
go,
like
go.
the older you get, like you're losing that like
Drive.
creativity, and like this thing. And I think that's kind of like what I'm always trying to like get
Chase?
back.
Yeah.
It's like, and I think that us doing this show, it's like you just want to get to that root of it, you know,
Yeah.
and like what it's all about.
And
kind
even
of.
that, even getting personal has become almost a taboo subject in society. I mean,
Oh my
Yeah.
god, yeah.
Yeah.
you have to be the superficial individual.
Yeah, well,
It's
that's
weird.
with social media. You have
And it's
that
like
issue.
your Instagram presence is
Yeah.
like,
You need to have 4 million followers in order to be like cool.
Is that the quota nowadays?
I don't know what the quota is.
I've been going for 3 million.
Jeez, better pay for the other million through Indian people.
Yeah, it's
Through Indian people.
Right? You can buy followers from India or something.
I forgot about the Indian market. I'm sorry, go on.
it's an interesting topic. I mean, it definitely is.
yeah.
Especially nowadays, people are very on edge and people are so scared not to offend people. You're taking a huge risk emotionally whenever you tell someone something personal or you tell someone even your views on politics or your views on
Religion,
society.
yeah.
Religion.
People forget to listen also.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
huge problem.
People forget to listen.
That's why theater is so great. Going back to theater for a second, you're forced to sit and listen and put your freaking phone down. I think that's so important. We're so driven by our technology. Honestly, I have days where I feel like you, Jean-Claude, where I'm like, I don't feel like I should do this. I'm not motivated to be creative or do whatever. And it's because of damn Netflix. I love Netflix. I love Amazon. I love HBO. But I find myself in front of that damn TV and on Instagram and Facebook while watching it. And it's so many distractions. We're told to be so go, go, go. But at the same time, oh, let's slow down and watch 12 hours of a show.
That's all you want to do when you get home. You just want to watch 12 hours of Twin Peaks.
That's it.
What are you watching on Netflix, by the way?
What am I watching on Netflix?
Great British Bake Off?
I was watching. I just finished it. I just finished the 2nd season. I've watched the 3rd season already, though. But I don't know. I don't think I'm watching anything.
You watch Love, right?
I haven't watched Love.
you haven't
I haven't
watched
watched
it yet?
Love yet.
Yeah, I
Decided
don't
to
know
watch
if I
the
like
season.
Love. It seems like two very terrible people just doing terrible things, but not in like
I
a
probably will love it.
not in a relatable way like Seinfeld.
I did
yeah.
watch Seinfeld today. Sorry. Go ahead.
I did watch Chewing Gum, which you recommended to me.
I only watched 2 episodes of that show.
It's great.
I never
loved
finished it. I don't know why I
It's
didn't
only
finish
like
it.
8 episodes, I
Yeah.
think, yeah.
See?
Remember
Netflix. It's a distraction.
See, yeah, we're distracted. As Willy Wonka once said in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, chewing gum is really gross. Chewing gum, I hate the most. It's the only line I remember from that movie.
Have you guys seen those posts regarding that Willy Wonka was actually a wizard in the Harry Potter universe?
Yeah,
I
he
did
was-
see something about this. Riley's like, what?
He was actually George Weasley, right?
Oh, I don't know about that, but it's
Oh, well, they said he's George Weasley because at the end, everything in his office is cut in half, and it represents how he lost Fred, his other half.
well, okay.
God,
What I
Pete.
just read was that it was like a fanfic almost of Willy Wonka in court, and Dumbledore's like, "Oh, you sneaky weasel," and he like keeps enchanting all these things and like giving the regular muggles candy that's enchanted and stuff like that, but he always weasels his way out of the magical court, whatever the system is. I don't know what it's called. It was really clever.
People are creative.
Yeah.
That is for sure.
And then of course they went into things about Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus, and she's a witch.
That's coming back.
yes,
Is
it
it?
is.
Oh. Is it-
Yeah, Kate
Who's playing-
McKinnon.
Kate McKinnon.
Yes, that's who it is.
Yes.
Kate McKinnon. And then DuckTales.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
DuckTales is coming back, and David Tennant is in it.
Yeah, David
he's
Tennant is
Scrooge.
Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah, he
And
is.
he's actually Scottish.
And he's actually Scottish. Yep.
Poor guy never gets to play himself.
Except for in Scrooge
Except for
McDuck.
Scrooge McDuck
Yeah.
when his face will be
And
animated.
the one line he had in How to Train Your Dragon.
Wait, he was in How to Train Your Dragon?
He has a cameo in the very first one, and it's like one line. He's like, "Watch out!" He does it in his Scottish accent, but that is it.
Which movie? First or second?
The very, very first one. It's like when the town is being like
Ransacked by the Dragon.
attacked by the dragons, and it's like all the villagers and everyone are running like crazy, and he yells something like, "Watch out, or I'll come get you," or something like that.
And that's it?
Ah.
Super random.
God
one line.
damn.
Which do you like more? How to Train Your Dragon 1 or How to Train Your Dragon 2?
I don't think I ever saw the second one.
I don't think. Oh no, I saw the second one. I didn't like the second one.
I love the second one.
I once babysat for this kid who was so obsessed with How to Train Your Dragon that he had literally every single thing you could have. Like, he had the video game, he had all the dragon like toys, he had the TV, like he had the movies, he had like books on. It was
Amazing.
crazy.
Spoiler alert, she babysat me.
And that was you.
I remember why I had such a tiff with How to Train Your Dragon 2. The second one, I was watching with my boyfriend because I was like, oh my god, I love the first one. I can't wait to watch this. So I'm watching it. And then our internet decided to cut out. it stopped. It was weird. And so we're like, oh, we'll just reboot it. Reboot our internet. It's working. It's fine. We go on Netflix. The next day, we're like, we'll just go on and finish the last. We had 20 minutes left. They took it down off Netflix the next day. So
That
we
happened with
didn't
Hail
know
Caesar.
The
That
last
sounds
20 minutes.
personal.
Oh,
That sounds like they were actually trying to hurt you.
We screamed so loud because I'm like, I'm never gonna know what happens. And then they put it back up like 6 months.
Did you ever finish those last 20 minutes? Because those are crucial.
I did,
Okay.
but still like the first one. I probably don't like the second one though because there's this baggage that's attached to
That's
it.
what I was gonna say.
I kind of read a piece about that.
Netflix screwing me over. Hashtag regrets.
Goddamn.
Well, I think it's about time to wrap up this episode because we're all three melting in here.
I melted.
Sounds good. All right, let's do our thing.
So we have a thing at the end of all of our episodes.
God.
Well, no, it's not. It's just final thoughts. Just final thoughts on what we've talked about here today. Some parting wisdom you would like to tell the Almost Adults audience. So we'll start with you.
Oh God. Okay. So I'm gonna say
I was pointing to Liz, by the way.
my wisdom as an almost adult is don't ever become an adult. Stay a kid at heart. I mean, we talked about that. I think that's so crucial, and especially as myself as an actor, I think trying to stay playful and positive, it's something I've been struggling with this year, and I think just remembering that is super important. So stay an almost adult.
You know a secret, Liz?
Yeah, what's up?
Nobody is an adult.
I don't know.
What about like Queen Elizabeth?
She is definitely an adult.
She's not an adult.
What about like Morgan Freeman? Like, pretty sure he came out of the womb an adult.
Like such an adult. Yeah.
I was gonna say Morgan Freeman, he's God, we all know
Yes,
this.
yeah.
So God is definitely, he's an adult.
Okay, fine. Just.
But just Queen Elizabeth and Morgan Freeman. They're the
That's
two.
it though.
Oh, okay.
That's
Queen
all
Elizabeth
is
and Morgan
it.
Freeman.
That's
okay.
all I got.
Those are the exceptions. What about you, John Claude? You got any final thoughts for the gang?
Ooh, let's see. So we talked about connecting with people and that there is a lack of that with social media and the age of technology. So I'm going to plug for the glory that is improv, which I've been doing a lot of because it really puts into perspective and really promotes the ideas of listening and connecting with a group of people and having full trust in a group of members that could be just strangers that you've been working with for the past 8 weeks or something like that. But within those 8 weeks, through just doing things like improv, you learn to put your faith in them. And that's not something you get every day. And also, you really gain the skills to just pay attention to the things that are coming out of their mouth and internalizing that stuff. It's pretty cool. So go try an improv
Yes,
class.
and
Yes, and
Yes, and.
I tried it, and I'm a better Gage for it.
Aw.
That's not really all material. That's more like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Oh, and that's nice, man.
Riley just kind of shrugged at me. She's like, I guess, if you say so.
Don't tell me how to feel.
and that
Final
is her
thought.
parting thoughts right there.
Yeah, that
Don't
is my
tell me
final
how to
thought.
feel.
Don't tell me how to feel.
Well, I only feel pity for you.
Oh God.
Just kidding. I like you. You're a good gal.
Thanks.
Sport. Just punch her in the arm. There we go. So, my final thoughts. My final thoughts are, I would say, find someone who you're acquaintances with and take a chance with them. Take a chance on a person you have been toting that line with. Should I trust or should I not trust? Trust them. See what happens. More often than not, they're willing to listen and they're willing to be relatable with you. I recommend not doing it over the phone. I recommend getting it lunch or dinner and just try to connect with them as a human being. I think we're severely lacking that in society. Yeah.
I love that.
Connect.
great.
Yes, queen.
Connect. You just yas queened me.
I always yes, queen. Everyone. I'll be honest. I use it on everyone.
And when everyone's yast, no one will be.
Yeah, that's kind of
Everyone's
what
a queen.
Everyone's a queen to me. Oh no, I need to limit my yazzing down.
Limit your
It's just
queens.
so fun to go. Honestly, it's just fun to go. Yas, queen. Like I just love doing
God, I
it.
can't wait to show you this cat video.
Oh,
when
I'm
we get done.
so excited.
Follow us on social media.
We have one more final thought, I thought.
Oh no,
No,
Riley's final
I mean,
thought.
I can elaborate if you want that.
Yeah.
I don't have to.
Don't tell
What
me
did I
how-
say? Oh, don't tell me how to feel.
Yeah,
But also,
you said don't tell me-
how to feel. I mean, I guess it's redundant, but get personal. Like, really get into those personal things and don't be afraid to talk about it. And I think that the world could use a little more human connection and interaction and stop talking about such surface stuff and really get into it with people and really talk about those things that are really important to you. And
Yeah.
I think
I
that's
second that.
That's
Get
a great
into
thing.
the nitty gritty.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Speaking of connecting with people, where can people connect with you on social media?
Okay, ready?
Ready?
It's personalonstage.com.
Uh-huh.
Facebook.com/it's personal.
Twitter is It's Personal LA, and Instagram is It's Personal on Stage. I think that's everything, right?
What about your personal?
Personal, I'm at Riley Billingsley.
And I'm at Liz Kummer 4. I love that Riley knows my handle more than I. I was like, I don't know what my handle is. Yeah, Liz Kummer 4.
Yeah.
Kummer. Or should we spell it like Emily does in the show?
Oh, yeah.
Spoiler!
Spoiler, gotta
If you
come
want to
to the
see
show.
the It's Personal show,
It's a little cliffhanger right there for you.
if you want to see the It's Personal show, it's at the Complex in Hollywood.
Tickets are $8 right now.
$8 right
they
now.
will go up.
They will go up.
April 1st, so buy them now.
April 7th. Wait.
Yeah, 7th.
7th and 8th.
Yep.
7:30 both days, 9:30 on the 8th. If you want to follow me, I'm at Gage Agnew. If you want to follow Jean-Claude, he is at PMuffinMix on Twitter.
Oh yeah, see, you know that better. You're the same thing. You know it better than I do.
We're all such good friends.
We're all such good friends. Follow Almost Adults at Almost Adults Pod. Give us an email at almostadultspodcast@gmail.com. And stay tuned next week where we shove fists into our mouths to impress our parents.
I'm not gonna do that, but all right.